What's up, guys? It's my last day in this field, so figured I'd pull out the camera and just talk a little bit. I'm moving back to my dad's area. I don't know if I'm gonna stay at his or get my own little cottage over there. Figure that out tomorrow. But I'm still riding. I'm still riding the wave, brothers. Right? I'm still riding the guidance. Right? The pendulum is up here, and I'm sticking with it, taking it one step at a time. But there's a lot of things and a lot of wisdom that has come to me over the past week, right? I've been blessed on Instagram, especially, like my followers doubled, almost tripled. And I feel blessed not only for that, but the fact that I'm able to stick with just what I think here, right? Especially because most of them are vegan. I'd find it easy to just appeal to the vegans, right? Appeal to them when no matter what we do, animals are going to be killed. Right? So the vegans are killing animals, the non-vegans are killing animals. And so where's the line split between good and bad? Right? Between right or wrong? Between zero footprint and some footprint, because we all got one. Right? And the reality is there is no line. There is no line. Right? But mentally we just tell ourselves there are. We tell ourselves there's vegans and then there's non-vegans. Right? But the real battle and the real discussion is consciousness versus ignorance. Right? That's the battle. And what I mean by consciousness is being conscious of what the decisions you make actually do for other people, for the animals, and for the world, right? Being fully aware, having zero cope in that, right? And then from there, when you're fully conscious of how your decisions affect other things in this world, ask yourself what your morals are, right? What do your morals actually align with? And then from there, right, you can make a conscious decision, and then you can relieve cognitive dissonance. And if everyone just did that, the world would be such a better place. The world would thrive. Because I think at least 90% of people have a moral consciousness to where they don't want to harm animals unnecessarily. Right? They just don't. Right? All children just don't want to do that inherently. And so pretty much everyone, or most people, are against factory farming. And most people will verbally say that, but then proceed to buy the food. Right? Now, part of this is ignorance, and the other part is it's like people think they either have to be vegan or non-vegan, one or the other, right? And the reality is you have to be conscious, right? Be conscious. Know where this stuff comes from. Know where the food comes from, right? Know the actual facts of what these things do to your body. Try the diets, right? Most people's morals heavily align with a full vegan diet. Everyone followed their morals to a T, right? Most people wouldn't eat factory farm food. A high majority would not eat factory farm food, because any majority of people who would watch that happen to an animal would say, I would not do that to an animal, and that is not moral to do to an animal for food. We can just eat plants, right? So that would be pretty much down. And that's the biggest problem, right? And people would just be more careful and loving and compassionate to everything in their environment. And it wouldn't be you versus me. I want to prove me right and you wrong. It would be, let's find the truth. Let's find the truth together, right? And that is the problem right there, is that we're no longer focused on finding the truth together. We're focused on proving someone else wrong and yourself right. Right? That's the problem. And that's not where truth lies. Truth does not lie where they're wrong and you're right, right? Truth lies within here, brother, within your soul, within having complete consciousness and having no ignorance and allowing yourself to not cope whatsoever. When I say cope, it means knowing the truth and deciding to tell yourself otherwise. You feel me? And that's the beautiful thing about me having a brother. And we did this documentary 2 days ago, and it was phenomenal. I'm extremely excited for it to come out. It's like we said exactly what we felt like we needed to say. And at the end, we were talking about how my brother, he always seeks truth. Like, he's not a coper, and that's why he went vegan, right? Because he listened to the argument, and he said, I can't really argue with this. I'm the same way. And so when I heard the argument, it took a couple debates between me and him, but I couldn't find a justification, so I tried it. Now, because there's two of us, right, our viewpoint ends up being pretty close together, our views on a lot of things. And it's not because that's naturally what we believe, or one person just listens to the other person. It's because we're both focused on finding the truth. Right, we're both focused. And so when he brings up a point that I may disagree with, I break it down. I say, well, hey, I don't think that perspective is actually correct. or here's why it's not, or here's the problem I have with it. And then he'll break down why he disagrees or he agrees. And then I'll break it down, and it eliminates all cope as long as you have two people who are willing to accept the truth. Because if you have two people who are willing to accept the truth, eventually it will get to the truth. If you only have one person, there's room for error, right? There's no trial, there's no testing of that truth, right? And so the more people you have, the more conscious people you have engaging in a discussion together, the closer you get and the closer you get, right? And so it's like, because a lot of you guys on here, I'm sure you're like, oh, I want the truth. But a lot of people don't, because the truth is uncomfortable for a lot of people, right? It's uncomfortable. And so how do you say, hey, despite the truth being uncomfortable, I'm going to move towards it, right? I do think there's an almost genetic sense when you're born, right? Your soul's level of acceptance to consciousness. Like some people wake up earlier than others. And some people, I feel like, just have no capability of waking up, honestly, like true NPCs. But number one is like, be okay with being wrong, right? Be okay with being wrong, because the only reason you wouldn't be okay with being wrong is because your identity is tied to it, right? You don't want to be wrong, and that's just going to hold you back from truth. So number one is be okay with being wrong, right? Be okay with your mind changing. And number two is be okay with discomfort, right? Be okay with believing things that are painful, right? And the nice thing for me and my brother is that we don't feel that. When we hear the uncomfortable truth, even if it's uncomfortable in the moment, we feel closer to gnosis, closer to the real truth, because what's more uncomfortable for us is ignorance, because we both feel it. We feel when we're ignorant, right? And that's an uncomfortable feeling. That's a beautiful, that's like what a conscious soul is, honestly, is it's aware of truth and aware of ignorance, and it's not okay with sitting in ignorance, right? Because you can be aware, you can be conscious, and you could, know the truth almost and see it, but you can also deny it, right? You can cope, you can be ignorant of it to make your existence here more comfortable or pleasurable. But me, brother, that's not comfortable to me. Ignorance feels uncomfortable to me, right? You got to find people like that. You got to find other people where ignorance feels uncomfortable to them, right? Not the people who are conscious but okay with being ignorant. Those are dangerous people, right? Because those people are aware. They're aware of things, but they're willing to go against what they're already aware of, which is immoral and weak, right? I would rather trust a person or engage with a person who's just unconscious, asleep, doesn't see things for what they really are, and never had the chance to be ignorant, right? But the worst people, or the people you can't trust, are the ones who see the truth but act evil or act ignorant despite of it, right? Those are the worst. I had no idea this was gonna go here. I'll probably have a couple more YouTube videos coming out with a planned topic, but man, I've just been going with the flow. I've just been listening to God. I'm so happy with the message I'm spreading on Instagram right now, and it's like, it's not even a calculated message. Like when the thought pops into my mind, I calculate and see if this is beneficial, and then I post it. But the messages have just been so, I'm so happy with them. And I also like the guys that just joined the method, I'm so happy with them too. Like I just actually got off a call with one of the guys who's planning on moving, and we're like deciding what to do, if he should move or not, we're weighing the pros and cons. And he was so skeptical to join in the beginning. I was like, I feel like this is divine, honestly, brother, the situation he was in. And then he joined, and today after our call, at the end of our call, he was like, man, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I did this. And he's like, that's how I make all my decisions. All my decisions, I'm on the edge. And, I'm thankful God brought me to this one. And it's just like, if in here is truly right, brother, like I'm more and more believing that God will bring you the right things, and listen to him. Because this has happened with my clients, with the win in the bodybuilding competition, with this content, with my business recently, right? With my heart, my soul, my relationships, all of it. And it's because I have never been like so clean in my desires. I see like beautiful women at the gym all day, right? I'm talking to them all day too, honestly. I'm very blessed to have that feminine energy, and lust doesn't cross my mind. And that's part of why I'm talking to them all day, is because when they talk to me, they don't feel, they feel the energy. They feel the fact that, hey, he's not lusting over my body right now. He's speaking to me like a human being, right? It's an energy you can sense. And I've sensed it before on men. But yeah, it's everything in your life gets better. And here's the problem is if you get into this state, I'm putting my shoes on right now, we're wrapping up. If you get into this state, you can't take it for granted, right? For example, the more pure you are, the more women will want you, right? Now, when more women you want you, it's easier to fall into lust. But however, it's much more important not to fall into lust. And so you have to be aware of these things. You have to have a guard up, take one day at a time, one step at a time, and always commit to yourself that you're gonna serve your higher purpose, because it will always lead you to there, right? Because when you're serving your lower purposes, it's so easy to fall into lust or addiction or whatever it may be, but it's not the path. It never is, right? Listen to your heart, be disciplined, hop on the method if you want. I would love to have more of you guys, because it's growing, brothers. It's growing. One of my other guys who hopped on, he's like, I'm glad I got in when I did, because I know that price was about to go up, because we're going like this, brother. Everything's going like this. So get in now. We'll talk to you soon. Love you. Peace.